All right, guys. I've always wanted to ring the cowbell. All right. For those of you with a keen sense of the obvious will notice I'm not Paul. Paul's not with us tonight, but he's made arrangements with a few of us to make sure that the show can still go on. So I think we're going to have a pretty good evening tonight. I'm glad all of you made it in the rain. Let's have a good meeting. So going through this, first of all, cell phones on silent. Everyone's connected to the internet who wants to be, because I'm going to move slides now. Okay. Timeline is how it normally is.
Did you hit record?
I'm sorry?
Did you hit record?
I did not hit record.
Oh.
One moment. How do I hit record?
I'm not sure.
One moment, please. Here we go. Huh. I need record permission from the host. Hold on, guys. Technical difficulties. Give me 1 moment. See, already we noticed Paul's not here. I think we might just not be recording. Okay. That's not working. We're not going to record.
Okay.
We've already got started. I thought I had a strong start, and then it just kind of fizzled momentarily. So let's just keep going. Timelines like it normally is. We're going to have Ricardo right here. Yay. He's going to be our speaker tonight. A little bit more on that later. A little bit of a break. Part 2. Raffle. Lots of new t-shirts, stuff like that. If you're like me, like half my wardrobe comes from this place. Everyone's pretty much guaranteed a winner. Support the joke. All right. And then, clean up, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Mission statement. I know Paul always likes to go through the mission statement, why we're here. You can read it. Everyone's seen it. But really, it's just we're all here for the same reason. We all like Java. We all understand the power of Java. And we do better, kind of collectively when we get to share knowledge and be able to push ourselves forward. So anyhow, that's why we're here. Become a member if you're not already. I think Meetup isn't Meetup the preferred? Yeah, but we still have Facebook and LinkedIn. But if you haven't joined already, Meetup is the way to go. And Kyle from Contrast was nice enough to buy the pizza tonight. Yay, Kyle. Yay, Contrast. Yeah. And let me bring up his website.
You could just scroll down just a little bit of that right there.
Right.
So thank you guys all for letting me sponsor the event. I'm really excited to be in front of you. I'll keep this as quick as possible, and I bet it's pretty rare you talk to salespeople who are trying to get a free product in front of you. That's all I'm here today is get you to try out our community edition, tell your friends about it, use it, and then hopefully tell your companies about it. So I work for Contrast Security. We are a modern application security platform. Let me tell you a few of the developer challenges we solve. I'll give you a 1-minute overview of what we do, and then I'll let you get back to the event. So when we talk to developers, oftentimes they tell me they hate missing deadlines due to information security tools and information security. They hate scanning tools. They hate tools with accuracy issues, aka pretty much all of them. They hate black box tools. They hate tools that are incomplete of remediation information on how to actually fix the problem that they're highlighting. They hate what-ifs from the security team. You're telling me this about my application, but how do you know? Can you prove it? They hate being forced to learn new security tools. They hate arguing over open source library vulnerabilities. And they hate finding out about vulnerabilities as they're entering into production. Those are some of the challenges that we help solve. So I work for Jeff Williams. If you're familiar with application security at all, he's pretty well known in the space. He's been in the space for like 20 years. He helped founded OWASP. He actually wrote the OWASP Top 10. He's contributed tools like WebGo and Noisy Cricket and a bunch of other stuff as a part of the community. He had actually founded a company called Aspect Security, which was later acquired by Ernst & Young, but that was 80 to 100 plus application security experts. So they were working for the government, the big financials, and his big problem that he set out to solve is, look, he's like, I've got all these AppSec experts. I own every single tool out there, SAST, DAST, pen testing tools. He's like, at the end of the day, we always fall back to manual code review. because these tools are just too resource intensive. At the end of the day, I can't really trust the results, so I'm just gonna go back to what I know. So he started thinking about, how do I solve this problem at scale? So he was actually at Black Hat doing a talk about using a Java runtime API, and he started thinking about, how could I use this Java runtime API for good? So in parallel, at the same time, you have these application performance monitoring companies building this massive industry. You have App Dynamics, you have New Relic, you have Dynatrace. I would guess most of you are familiar with them at least a little bit. They use this concept of dynamic binary instrumentation, putting logging and analysis sensors into your code. Doesn't change the code, doesn't really impact performance, hopefully. Don't call me out on that if I'm wrong in some unique use cases, but we use that concept for security. So when you embed our sensors into your application, we're going to do a few different things. We're going to first continuously monitor for vulnerabilities, both custom vulnerabilities and open source vulnerabilities. So you move, in Java, you move us, we're a jar file, we instrument the JVM as you're moving from runtime into memory, putting our sensors into the application. As your application is exercising, we're just looking for vulnerabilities. For open source vulnerabilities, we're gonna hash the third-party libraries, let you know if there's any known vulnerabilities in those. And not only can we tell you if there's known vulnerabilities, but we can tell you if those are actually exploitable, which a lot of the developers I talk to hate when they're talking to the security team. We're like, great, you know we have this open source library somewhere, but how do you know it's actually exploitable? Our technology can show you that. In a couple months from now, we'll actually be able to show you the entire dependency tree so that you can figure out the level of effort it's going to take to remove those libraries from your applications. So we're continuously monitoring for custom vulnerabilities. We are monitoring for open source vulnerabilities in real time. And then if you have to move an application to production, we actually have the ability to block attacks on your application. Gartner calls it RASP, Runtime Application Self-Protection, but there's always maybe a vulnerability or two that has to make it to production. We can do things like raise an exception, or you can apply a CVE shield, and this is all within clicks of an easy-to-use portal, which is on-premise or in the cloud. So, integration-wise, so let's say you introduce a new vulnerability, and this is all something that you can try out for free, again, on our community edition. This is why I'm here. So let's say you introduce a new vulnerability. You're doing your normal testing, maybe manual testing, or you're running a Selenium script, introduce a new vulnerability. We're going to feed that information back to our server, and that server is going to send it wherever you want it. You could send it to Slack, to Teams, you could send it to Splunk, you could send it to your ticketing systems like Jira or Jenkins. Most of the time, developers are going to send it right back to their IDEs. Send it to Visual Studio or IntelliJ. And what you're going to get is, hey, Mr. Developer, this is what you did. This is why it's important. We're going to show you line by line where it was, and we're going to give you very detailed remediation advice on how to fix it. So for your enterprise, if you're ever working in a large company, you typically have to pay DevSecOps experts or application security experts a bunch of money to come in and run a pen test or a DAS scan or to tune into triage with your static analysis tools. Those guys are really hard to find. There's just not a lot of experts like yourself in software that are interested in security. As we were talking about earlier, you should take a look at that. But there's a massive ROI by finding and fixing these vulnerabilities yourselves as a developer. So we integrate with Microsoft as an investor in my company. They invested in our Series C and Series D. We partner with AWS. If you guys are building, you can use like Elastic Beanstalk to deliver our code. We actually have webhook integrations to a lot of their tools. So in short, Contrast can help you accelerate your business velocity. A lot of the reason that we love talking to developers is you understand the business plan. Sometimes security teams understand it, but they just use the tools that they know how to use. So we need developers to evangelize, hey, I want to get my products to market faster. This works great in DevOps. We don't scan at all. We're just monitoring from inside the app, so you eliminate all of that scan time. Most of that accuracy issues, we're about 3% false positive rate. Nothing's perfect. But the point is, try it out, test it yourself, and if you like it, please tell a friend. And I'm out. So.
All right. Got some information over here, some tags, and if you guys have questions, I'll be here to that. All right. Okay, for the announcement section. So if anyone has any topics they want to present in an upcoming meeting, let us know. Contact Paul. We're always looking for someone to present something interesting that we can all learn from. Is anyone looking for work? All right. Is anyone hiring? Anyone know of any that can help these guys out?
Conflict.
All right, maybe you guys can talk
Yeah.
during the break
I
then?
will explain what conflict is when I present.
Yes. Put the cart before the horse. Yeah. Okay, good. Maybe there's a connection. Ian does the Kotlin group. Do you want to say a quick,
Yeah,
quick
well,
word about
especially
that?
because we're moving. ESA, we lost our host there. Some of the people we knew that were sponsoring us there moved on to other companies up north, so it was a very convenient location. So I believe we're moving to platform science. We're confirming that this week, and so it's still here, and it's still going to be in UTC right nearby. And yeah, we meet the first Wednesday of every month to talk about Kotlin. Huge on Android, and more and more Spring and other server-side Java frameworks are starting to adopt Kotlin as well. So come check it out. I'd love to have more people join us in the group.
Very nice. Is December 4th? That would be.
A Wednesday, I think.
Is that a Wednesday? Yeah, that sounds like an off time. So it sounds like, well, everything's weird in December, right? So sounds like a special meeting that day, for that day. And lastly, is there anything else Java related in San Diego that somebody wants to share? Anything? Anything you know of? Anything fun? Same old then. All right. Ricardo is going to be talking to us tonight. There's a whole bio here. You probably saw it on the website. I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit more. You could probably do a much better job than I. And then, of course, we want to thank ResMed for being generous enough to let us use this spot tonight. Let us use their facility. Paul did want me to remind everyone, ResMed is always looking for some good, talented people. So if anyone's looking, the people who are looking for a job, check out ResMed. I don't know I'm not a ResMed guy, so I don't know what's out there right now. But do take a look. It's a solid company. We all know it. So anyway, thank you, ResMed. And that is it. So now we're going to bring up Ricardo, and he's going to give his presentation.